They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I just wish this thing could have waited until Monday. The first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been. Thank you guys for your support.
A reported $6.5 million a year down the drain for poor choices and lack of discipline.
I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN.
ESPN officially cut ties with Shannon Sharpe. Remember, he is a Hall of Fame player. He is now a Hall of Fame media personality. But you also remember that his ex-girlfriend accused him of rape. You remember that?
So you have sat up here and lost $100 million in earning potential trying to fulfill play race fantasy with Polly Wallet Cottontail, age 19. Age 19 when you met you at the big-ass age of 55, now 57.
ESPN moved on. Shannon Sharpe says he's at peace. Then, boom, another lawsuit. If you think this is a simple firing story, it isn't. It's about one sentence, a timing decision that hijacked a Hall of Fame weekend, and a case that could cost 8 figures. Here's the clean timeline, and the part nobody's saying out loud. Shannon Sharpe didn't break the news on a set. He did it in his own lane, on Nightcap. Calm voice, few words. He thanked ESPN for the opportunity and said something simple. They did what they felt they needed to do, and he was at peace with that. What bothered him wasn't the decision, it was the timing. He asked for a short delay so the story wouldn't overshadow his brother Sterling's Hall of Fame moment. It still did, and that's where the narrative split. The network stayed quiet on its reasoning, but the public heard the calendar loud and clear. But that wasn't the whole story. Back in April, a civil suit blared like a siren. She alleged the worst: RPE, assault, even talk of recordings. He denied it flat, said it was a consensual adult relationship, and called the filing a shakedown.
Monique told him he need to go get somebody his own age. A lot of old ass men, Deion Sanders, Shannon Sharpe, Slim Thug, they only want the younger women to be able to use them and harvest their energy. They're not going to do right by you. They don't care about you. They looking for you to serve them in whatever capacity they want to be served. That's why his ass got that lawsuit.
The noise was instant. Sponsors listen, executives watch. He stepped away from ESPN to fight it, and for weeks the story wasn't about segments or stats. It was about filings, affidavits, and what might surface next. 3 months later, it ended where few expected, settled and dismissed with prejudice. Translation? That chapter is legally closed. No trial, no deposition splashed across timelines, no finding of liability. Civil cases don't deliver guilty or not guilty. That's criminal court language. So the official record here is simple. The parties resolved it, and the court shut the door. Did that end the conversation? Not online. Headlines don't settle, they stick. Which is why the next twist hit differently. Just as the dust started to fall, a new case stepped in. Not about conduct behind closed doors, but about words on a show. A single sentence, a status claimed on air. And suddenly, the question wasn't, what happened between two people? It was, what can you say on a mic without paying for it later?
First off, I want to apologize to all my ninjas and my ancestors. But most importantly, I want to apologize to Stephen A. Smith for letting him down. I played in the snow for way too long when I shouldn't have. But those snow bunnies are too addicting and I got caught up. I'm out here retiring 20-year-old snow bunnies instead of my own family. Dr. Umar was right. You can't play in the snow for too long or you're going to pay for it. And I did. But with that being said, I am officially retiring from the Snow Bunny Olympics. I'm going to let my other ninjas have that.
Less than 2 weeks after the civil case closed, ESPN and Shannon Sharpe parted ways. He told viewers he was at peace. The network gave no public reason. That's the record.
Looking at you, my brother, and I say this affectionately, you might be one of the dumbest folks on the planet Earth.
Before that, in April, ESPN backed his temporary step back while litigation played out. Executives don't have to decide who's right or wrong. They have to decide what keeps the lights on. A months-long legal drumbeat followed by a fresh defamation claim is exactly the kind of risk profile that makes any brand look at the calendar, the headlines, and the run of show, and ask whether the next news cycle helps or hurts. That doesn't prove cause, but it frames the clock. If you're asking why now, the answer isn't a smoking gun. It's optics plus timing. Advertisers want stability, leagues want clean headlines, distribution partners want low-drama inventory. Stack that against a newly filed case about something said on air, and the calculation starts to look less mysterious and more inevitable. And the part most people miss? This isn't about conduct anymore. It's about words, what you can say on a mic without paying for it later, which is why the next piece matters more than you think. This wasn't Shannon Sharpe's first courtroom headline. Brett Favre sued him over comments tied to Mississippi welfare funds. The fight climbed to a federal appeals court and got tossed. Judges said Sharpe's remarks, sharp as they sounded, were protected opinion. Translation: in sports talk, heat isn't automatically a lie. That win matters. It tells you how courts treat value judgments, metaphors, and obvious exaggeration in a debate setting. But that victory doesn't print a coupon for the next case. Why? Because the new fight isn't about tone, it's about a checkable fact. Opinion versus fact is the whole ballgame. If a line is read as opinion, you've got a wide First Amendment lane. If the court decides it was presented as a statement of fact, and the fact was wrong, that lane narrows fast. Even the magic word allegedly won't save a sentence if the overall context tells viewers, this is how it is. That's why this lawsuit feels heavier. Married isn't a vibe, it's a status you can verify with paperwork. Club Shay and Nightcap turned Shannon Sharpe into a 2-channel thunderclap. Massive guests, viral pull quotes, next day headlines. But scale has a price. The line between hot take and hard claim shrinks to a hair. In that space, one casual sentence can become Exhibit A. And if a judge hears fact, not opinion, you're suddenly arguing transcripts, timestamps, and sourcing while the clip keeps racking views. Teams feel it every night. Keep it spicy, not sloppy. Keep it fast, not loose. On paper, that sounds easy. In front of millions, it's a tightrope with lawyers under it. And that's why Tillman's suit matters. It doesn't chase vibes, it chases a status you can verify. Defamation law is simple where it counts. Was it said as a fact? Was it false? Did it hurt? And what was the speaker's fault? Sloppy or reckless? On high-energy shows, hosts toss allegedly like confetti. Courts don't treat it like a force field. If Tillman wasn't married and the segment told viewers she was headed for divorce because of that viral moment, a jury won't grade the vibe. They'll grade the claim. That's why the clip went private, why the case moved to federal court, and why the response deadline matters. The stakes aren't just money, they're the rules of the new sports talk economy. So what's Sharpe's next move? Fight, settle, or change the way the mic gets used? Publicly, he's brief. Grateful to ESPN, at peace with the split, frustrated only that the timing stepped on family. Privately, the reach is intact. Club Shay and Nightcap didn't vanish. Audiences don't evaporate overnight, they test your next move. The real question is stability. Do distribution partners stay loud? Do advertisers stay warm? Do big-name guests still say yes when a defamation clock is ticking? That's the swing factor. Not whether he can pull views, but whether the infrastructure around those views keeps humming. From here, 3 levers sit on the desk. Fight. Answer the suit hard. Lean on transcripts, context, and the opinion fact line. Win, and the brand gets a credibility bump. Lose, and the price tag isn't just money, it's narrative. Settle. Pay to end the noise, move forward. It's clean for partners, but the internet reads silence as smoke. Rebuild the format, keep the heat, tighten the receipts. On-screen clarifiers, fact-check gates, pre-published legal sweeps. Same energy, fewer exposed edges. He's climbed before, he can do it again. The trick now is simple to say and hard to live. Keep the talk sharp and the facts sharper. With a legal response due soon and partners watching the next upload, the next choice isn't just content, it's positioning. So does he fight, settle, or rebuild the format? The lever he pulls now decides whether this week is a bump or the blueprint. Look past the noise. ESPN made a business call. Sharpe made a peace with it response. One civil case closed. Another one just opened. In this new media world, virality is currency, until one sentence becomes Exhibit A. So ask yourself the real question. Do you still want unfiltered high-heat debate when the bill for one rushed fact is 8 figures and a job? Because that's the trade. And everyone, from suits to streamers to you, has to decide if the clip is worth the case.